You are now tuned in to the real news behind the news, bringing truth to light and exposing the deception behind the mainstream media while matching headlines with the prophecy of the scriptures.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This your boy Raw Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news.
Alright, we're going to try this again. I guess I got to go try it in this mode here. Center request. Man, this motherfucker saying I don't even have any viewers. It's really pissing me off. Hey Bishop, if you're watching, I'm live, but it's showing that I don't have any viewers, no requests or nothing like that. I'm trying to. Alright. I shared it. Okay. It's showing where you're invited. Even if I try to tag, for some reason it's not letting me and you connect. for real, it's not letting me and you connect for some reason, man. Like I was just telling him, shit is not letting us connect. Fuck. Well, y'all. We're going to have to figure this out. We're going to have to take this here to YouTube, Bishop. Because I see they're not letting me do it on Facebook. They're not letting me do it. Alright, I got a request for you, Bishop. But for some reason, all the time, Facebook let me go live. They won't let us go live right here. I got a request in for you, Bishop. Send me an invite. I got an invite for you. Send me a request. But I'm not seeing nothing. I'm not seeing nothing, Bishop. All right, I got you right there. Hold on. All right, go right there. Now I'm going to accept this.
I think we hooked up. But now I can't hear you. I can't hear you now. I see you, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I can't hear you. Let me see what's going on here on my end. I hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. I'm sorry again. Forgive all the technical difficulties, but yeah, I be having a lot of problems when we come to doing what the real new behind the new. All right, now your camera turned sideways. All right, now you good. I apologize. Let's get the show on the road, bitch. Hey, I apologize for those, but let me go through the formality. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Ron Thomas Jr. This is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, man. Today is a beautiful May 31st, 2023 here in Columbus, Ohio. And where you at, Pastor? Where you at, Bishop?
I'm in Pearland, Texas.
So we ain't gonna get your address or nothing like that, but you in Texas, I'm here in Ohio, and even though we grew up on the Cooper Road, why are we doing what we're doing today, Bishop? Well, I mean, the reason that you and I are having this video, let me give the people a little bit of foreground. I apologize. Bishop Lacey right now is on the forefront of trying to awaken the conscience of the city of Shreveport. I mean, I'm here in Ohio. I had to recently move up here. But Bishop Lacey, even though he's in Texas, he has had a situation in the city of Shreveport that affects everybody in the city of Shreveport, whether you want to accept that or not. Because I'm going to digress here, Bishop, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Tell the people your credentials, why you are here. I mean, your background, just let them know you're not just some Negro that's mad about something, but let them know your background, why you here, and what you want to let the people know. Your phone is breaking up.
Okay.
All right, now I hear you. I hear you clearly now. Your phone is breaking up. I hear you clearly.
So I'm Lacey Houston, pastor in Shreveport. Now I'm here South Houston, Texas area. But for responsibility is trying to get justice. Initially, was trying to get justice for my cousin Joseph Taylor. Now, I've seen some stuff about people that's been in the game and all of that stuff. Well, I was introduced to community activism, and I'm not a community activist. I'm not claiming to be a community activist. So all the community activists, they are really saying, I'm not trying to invade their territory.
Oh, let me interject on something on that. I know for a fact who you are. You were somebody who's active in your community. You can't label you as a community activist. Remember, you ran for politics, Lacey. You one who gave me game.
Right.
You, Dr. Artist Cat. When I first started doing this real news behind the news, you was one of the main people that stayed on me. You pointed out my flaws. So now you're not a community activist. You have been somebody who ran for politics, who understand this game. So you have been active in your community, not a community activist. Go ahead.
Right. You know, I was introduced to activism by Craig Lee, as a matter of fact.
My boy.
He, we may not see eye to eye on a lot of issues, but I do credit Craig Lee for that. Introduced me to community activism. He was helping with my campaign back in 2000. when I ran for the school board. And we ended up working together on the Marquis husband shooting. That was the first
Mm-hmm.
that I got involved with. Unfortunately, at that time, I was a lower level pastor, and the pastors got involved and kind of over the activism, as you will, and that didn't turn out well.
I was just say, did they get justice?
No, they got positions.
Anyway, we ain't gonna go there. Go ahead, finish, Pastor.
And I'm just saying, there's three things that politicians and community activists are after. One of the three, either power, position, or pay.
Mm-hmm.
So when this happened to my cousin, there wasn't a need for an activist or a politician, because I felt like as a family we could do it ourselves.
Yeah. Now,
right. So
go ahead.
So I've been down this road before. I've worked to try to get justice for Marquis' husband. I've worked to try to get the better educational system for the children in Shreveport. But I just believe that there's a brokenness in the city of Shreveport that thrives off of the conflict, confusion, and chaos, and your political elite, they need this to keep them going. So nobody wants this solved. This isn't a riddle that they want to solve. They want to keep it like it is because they benefit from it. There are people that make money off of the confusion and the conflict in the city of Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Not to mention, Bishop, they make money off the crime in Shreveport, because if you stop the crime,
right.
you're gonna close the jails down. You're gonna close the penitentiary system down. But go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was a security guard back in the early '90s in Villa Norte. And when I went over there, the apartment complex was full of gangs and gang activity. I got to know the people. They respected me. They left the apartment complex. It got to a place where there was no crime in the complex. The police never had to come. One night, a Shreveport police officer that I knew well came over, asked me to ride with him. We go on a ride, and he tell me, say, listen, if you don't take the lights off, you're going to get fired. I said, why would I get fired? He said, because there's no crime. He said, you need crime in order for them to justify your position.
Mm.
I didn't take his advice because I had the apartment complex right where I wanted it. It was crime free. And just like you said, about a month later, I got fired because they didn't need a security guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are people that really in the city of Shreveport, so they need. But yeah, so I just bow. I know you got some questions.
No, I got some questions, but no, that's very relevant, because again, you're saying that there's elements of the city and even parish government that need that chaos to thrive. So again, that goes along to what we're going to talk about a little bit later as we go on. How these people, they have no incentive. Notice how the Shreveport Police Department and the City Council been turning that shit over to the Louisiana State Police, taking over all these killings. Let's get off into that, Bishop. And I just wanted the people to know a little bit about you. But tell us what happened. And when you say your family wants justice for Joseph, man, for Peanut, what is it exactly that you are looking for? And what do y'all want or need or demand happen?
Okay, a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Caused it on himself. About an hour. I'm in Houston, so if I was at the hospital, we was in Houston going over the video. And every time I would throw up,
Your phone going out, Pastor Bishop. Your phone going out.
What do you think now?
All right, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, for me, even before I got police policy for it, but in order for it to be justified, that they would have to show him threatening the police. They know that. And the only thing that has a lot of different opinions, but the only thing that legally justifies it is if they somehow die. And that's not for justify what they did. So justice means if they violate what they did, then that means that criminal. If everything that they did was criminal, then they charged like criminals, fired from the police department, and they did.
Hold on, Bishop. Hold on, because we got people saying that they're having problems with the sound that's coming from you. I can hear you, but it's like you're going in and out and again. I never really have these problems when I'm doing my videos or I'm on somebody else's, but every time I do a subject like this, we have technical difficulties. But Janine saying that you're breaking up, I can hear you coming in and out. But let's keep going.
Let me position myself inside where the internet connection may be better.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. Yeah. But I know my internet should be good, but yeah. Let's, again, I apologize. But we should have it. Let me grab this phone, this other phone. All right, yeah, now go ahead. Go ahead, Bishop. To the listeners,
Janine, is this okay? Give us a thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, I give you a thumbs up. That's a whole lot better, Bishop.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. That's perfect. Now, again, I hate to ask you to do this to the viewers. We apologize, but y'all know this to get old version of the news, but we finna bring out some real news behind the news. And you were saying, Bishop, you were saying that your family is expecting what to happen.
Well, we won't, if you cannot justify, and I've been fair in what my requests are. My request has been, if he did something to cause this, give justification. Show us where he caused this on his own. If that's justification, we'll accept that and walk away. But if you can't show us where he posed a threat to them, then you have to give us justice and fire, charge, arrest those police officers because they committed a crime if you can't justify it.
All right, now let me ask you. I don't play devil's advocate because I don't choose no sides, bro. I'm trying to be the mediator. Right. You would have some that say, well, maybe they just in their feelings. He had a gun, this and that. I can tell you my speculation. I said from Jump Street, from day one, you know what I said, Pastor, from day one, from what we saw of what those two gentlemen recorded. God had them boys right there for a reason, man.
Right.
We saw this. And if he had a gun, why would you get him out the car without proper backup, then wrestle with him yards away, maybe feet away from that car if you knew he had a gun? So from day one, it never sat right with me.
Right.
So again, I'm going to let you go from that point on. People will say y'all in y'all feelings. What is it that makes you feel that that officer wasn't scared? Because that's what they're trying to say. He feared for his life, but he wrestled with a man with a gun. I mean,
well,
yeah.
First of all, those that about feelings. I'm a professional in everything that I do. I'm able to separate my feelings and do the job that's necessary. When an example, my grandfather passed, I preached his funeral because my job at the time was the pastor. It wasn't the grandson. I cried when it was over with, but I did my job first. So, I'm not in my feelings. First of all, but let's tackle the gun. Let's tackle the gun, and I read something by somebody named Blakely. I don't even know who that is. I've seen that person once on one of the feeds, but they were saying that they offered me something to analyze the tape or whatever, and I didn't accept. I don't even know the person. But
I know she's a friend of mine. She's a person, you know, she has good, and I say she has good character. I know her. She's a good person.
Anything about her character, all I'm saying is I don't know her.
Yeah.
So I don't saying. I've seen one live that I did. I've seen her pop up. But let's talk about the gun. Let's talk about the video. Let's talk about the dash cam. Let's not talk about the video of the shooting. Let's talk about the dash cam. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Louisiana State Police, and we're going to take everything that they said, and we're going to just go from there. We're going to say that, like the lady said in the video, she said, you're going to see a gun, and she circled in between his legs. You're going to see a red circle. That's where he got the gun from. And then at the door of the car, she made another circle and said, this is the gun. Some people said it was a gun. He was holding it upside down. If you take that video from the Louisiana State Police and you throw it down, you will see whatever that object is. They say it's a gun, so I'm going to go with that. You will see that object fall to the ground.
You saw it fall to the ground. Go ahead. Exactly. I saw it fall to the ground right there.
Right. So if he had a gun when he got out of the car, let's just say he did. He had a gun when he got out of the car. If you shoot him right there, you justify it.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's going to do with the gun. Now, if you let him drop the gun and you let him get 10 feet away from the car.
You run and chase after him.
Right. Rob, let's Viscotti, they put this on Viscotti, and the reason they putting everything on Viscotti is because Viscotti is the one that said he has something in his hands. Now he don't know it's a gun. He don't think it's a gun, and the reason I know he don't think it's a gun is because he chases him, he chases him, and start beating. So if you has a gun, you're not going to chase him. If you think it's a gun, why right then? If you think he has a gun, why not shoot him?
If I would have been in that situation, I mean, I can't think as a police officer, although I've been in pressure situations when, you know, I took one point blank to the right. In a situation like that, it's true. Officers only have a matter of seconds. But when you see that he has nothing in his hand, Go ahead, Bishop.
The whole thing took about a minute and a half to happen. From the got out of the car to the time he was dead, a minute and a half. So everything happened quick. I give him that. It all happened quick.
Hey, hold on. Chad Huston said something that I heard you say. He said they never went back to retrieve whatever it was.
Right. We ain't got there yet. Let's
go ahead. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk, kid, folks.
Not only do they not go back to retrieve what it was, but if he had a gun in his hand, like they're saying, once you kill him, what would be the first thing that you do?
Secure the gun, the object.
Secure the gun. Nobody went over to him to take a gun out of his hand. Nobody went over to him to render aid. The reason they didn't go to take a gun out of his hand because they knew he didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
When they killed him, that he did not have a gun. So for all of the naysayers that's saying, well, there's been all kinds of stuff. He was a drive-by shooter. He was a killer. Let's give him that. I'm not gonna let's say he is a drive-by shooter. He's a killer. Okay. But he hadn't killed anybody that night.
He didn't. He posed no threat.
He wasn't pulled over for nobody.
When,
According to the police, he was pulled over because his car bumped the yellow line. Let's talk about that. His car bumped the yellow line. The police officer that's standing at his door, that's talking to him, calm, and what is Joe doing while he's talking to the police? Because everybody's about compliance. But Joe talking to the police, he's calm. He never raises his voice. He never used profanity. He answered every question. He asked a question. The officer says, as the officer get his driver's license and insurance registration, they talk about the car. The officer asked him to get out of the car. He asked a question that I would have asked. If you thought I was drunk, if you come to the car, you don't smell any alcohol, so you know I ain't drunk. If I bump the yellow line, give me a ticket. I mean, why do I need to get out of the car? I would have asked the question. That's the question he asked. Okay? So he asked a question that many people would have asked. The officer did, after asking him a couple of times to get out of the car, the officer said, well, at least turn the car off so that I'll know that you're not going to run. Joseph replied, I don't have no reason to run, man. And then he turns the car off. For everybody to say he didn't comply, that's compliance.
Right there when he turned the car off. I didn't pay attention to that part up, Bishop. Go ahead.
Yeah, he turned the car off. So now he turned the car off. That's what the officer asked him to do. But after the car is turned off, then he says, okay, now get out of the car again. By this time, the other officers are going to the other side, to Joseph's side of the car. They get to his side of the car, and the door is open, and he says he's on the phone. I'm trying to call my wife. And the lady says, come on, get out of the car. And she reached for him. He put the phone down in the seat. They pulls him out of the car. Now, they're saying at this point, he grabbed a gun on his way out of the car. Okay? He grabbed a gun. But we all seen that video where whatever that was in his hand fall to the ground. Mm-hmm. So now, because he's been compliant, he's answered all their questions, they snatched him out of the car. They're escalating. You still don't hear him raise his voice. He do break away and try to run. Well, if you'd have snatched him out of the car, maybe he's fearful now. So he tries to run. There's a taser that goes off. They tackle him, and then they start to beat him in the medium. They're not trying to arrest him. He's not. The whole thing was he fought with the police. He didn't fight with the police. You watch the video. They were on top of him, beating him. He was face down. If anything, he was trying to keep them from hitting. But he wasn't fighting them. They were beating him. He wasn't fighting back. He never swung on the police. Nobody will ever tell you that they seen him swing on the police. What the Louisiana State Police says is that he tried to get up. He didn't try to get up either. The officer on the left side had him with his left hand. He had
How could he get up? Go ahead. I want to hear that explanation.
The officer on the left side had his hand on his hoodie, and he was pulling him up. At the time, and I'm jumping ahead. I'm going to the end, but at the time they started to shoot, he was pulling him up, and he released him, and he started to run. He fell. Now, bag up a little bit. We're going to say that Viscotti seen something in his hand, okay? He didn't know what it was, but he didn't fear it was a gun because he chased him down and beat him. We know that. Yeah. He wasn't fearful of a gun. Yeah. Now, not fearful of a gun. Once he get over there where they're beating him at, and he starts to beat him as well, you hear this, you don't hear a command, you hear this statement, I will shoot you, mother.
Yeah.
Shoot you. Yeah. That's not, if you got a gun, I'm going to shoot you. That's not what he said. He didn't say, I got a gun, so I'm going to shoot you. He didn't say that. No, what he said was, I'm going to shoot you, MF. I'm going to shoot you.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
After threatening to shoot him while they were still beating him, he said, somebody said, he has a gun in his hand. That was said 3 times. He has a gun in his hand. Joseph replied, and this is when he cursed. He said, I don't have no motherfucking gun, man, is what Joseph said. Now, nobody at this time, when he said 3 times he have a gun in his hand, nobody got up. They continued to beat because they was not fearful of a gun. And the one thing that we all wondered when we first seen the bystanders video is, why did they all start running back at the same time?
I saw that. That's one of the first things that I asked. But all I saw, and from what I saw, I didn't. You know me, I'm an analyzer. All I saw was somebody jump up and start shooting. They tried to say as early on that he shot, but you can't see somebody panicked in that situation and shot that young man. Well, that's my speculation.
But now with the audio from the officer cam, we know that it wasn't a panic at all. The officer said, "Get up, get up, get up." That's him telling the other two to move back because he was ready to shoot. He wasn't panicked. He had planned to. He said, he said he has a gun in his hand. That's cover. He said that cover. The move was get back because I'm finna shoot him. And when they all started to get back, he started shooting. I think more than him started shooting.
I know I seen at least 2 officers, bro, that fired.
Right.
I can't say whether they both of them bullets hit, but I did what I see. Go ahead.
The guys shot. You know, but they put all of the shots on Viscotti.
I want to ask you that. I want you to explain to the people the significance of them trying to put that charge on him. So they set him up to beat the charge.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Well, because Viscotti said he has something in his hands. That's why they're giving him all of the shots. Not only are they giving him all of the shots, they need some video that some bad traffic stops. So that dirt is the water. That lets you know that he's bad. They want you to think he's bad. So if you think that he's bad, you'll accept them when they say he was the lone shooter. He shot him 4 times because he thought he had a gun. Remember when he got out of the car, Viscotti said he had something in his hand. Well, what hurt that argument from me, if I'm the DA, what hurt that argument is, if he thought he had a gun in his hand, why did he chase it?
Hold on, Bishop. Hold on. Sharon Young say, I'm going to go and read just a few comments. Yeah, if I can say, I'm going to be real, your shirt's so bright, I can't see the comments. Sharon Young say, all 3 of them was shooting. All 3 of the police shooting. Sharon Arthur say, the police just trigger happy because they knew they could get away with it. Well, they thought. Also, Vincent Fusha, well, our kinfolk from back at Green Oak, he said, no matter what he was, the police are not the jury, the prosecutor, or the judge. He never had a chance to go to court because, again, if he dropped it, I mean, you got to be, y'all excuse my language, please. Y'all know me. I'll just keep it real. You got to be a mentally challenged 4th grader not to see what they portrayed as a gun dropped when he got out the car. And you tackled him. Again, you was not in fear of your life. So going back to Viscotti, we fast forwarded it, but you get to what I'm saying. You were not in fear of your life. So we got to put it off on somebody who can beat the charge for everybody.
Exactly. And that's why they're using Viscotti. But according to this document, this
I knew you were going to be ready.
This is the Louisiana Police Department General Order SPD 601.10. This is the use of lethal force document. And according to this document, in order for them to use lethal force, they have to have a reasonable belief that their life or somebody else's life is in danger. Now, what makes it reasonable, Rob? That means that reasonable means that you're doing something that someone else in the same situation would have done. Again, this hurts their theory, because if they saying that Viscotti was the lone shooter, that means the other 2 did not shoot. They didn't think it was reasonable to shoot him. According to So then that means that what he did was unreasonable.
All right, let me interrupt you. So what we saw at least one citizen's video. Have we seen? We've seen two other officers' video.
Right.
What about the actual dash cam? We seen that, right?
We seen the dash cam.
What about the third officer's camera? Go ahead.
The third.
I don't want to take you off. I want to hear about. I'm curious about that.
The third body cam. Okay, I didn't make it to Freeport for the viewing of the body cam, but when the mother Laverne Cookie, when Cookie finished with the videos, she called me. She said, "Listen, the video that we seen, it went completely black. All you can hear is the audio." And so once they released the videos later that day, she said, "Wait a minute, this isn't the same video that we seen. The one that we seen was black. It went black." So,
all right, let me interrupt. There's very important significance on that because we're going to go back to April, Alonzo Bagley. Mm-hmm. Notice in that case, at the moment the pistol was supposed to have been fired by that officer, the camera shut off.
Right.
Why is it that at the moment, the most critical moment, your camera is working fine up until the moment that we need to see this shit? Excuse my language, Bishop. The moment we need to fucking see, you telling us now, excuse my language again, Bishop, I'm passionate because you can't buy this, man, with a $1,000 bill. The moment we need to see and hear, there's either an audio problem or a video problem, but it was miraculously fixed in 10 seconds. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bishop.
Right. So, and like I said, I read some of the comments on your other live, and one thing that they said they're talking about facts and not suspicion. So this is going to be suspicion. My suspicion is that the reason the third body cam been released is because it does not feed into the narrative that the state police. They got to
go back and have a narrative where they can pin it on Viscotti,
right?
Who's going to walk, and everybody absolves themselves of this matter, and y'all supposed to just ride away into the night,
right? So again, on this third video, I believe that video, the reason it was black, completely black, except for the audio, is because it shows the gun hit the ground. Notice, back to what I think was Chad said earlier about the gun. If he had a gun and it hit the ground at the door, and that body cam caught that, but they don't want you to know where the gun is. All they want you to know is that the gun was in the car, it was at the door. They never tell you where the gun ended up at. If he had a gun on him when they shot him, and let's say he rolled over and there was a gun in his hand, they would have put a big red circle around there to say, this is why they shot him.
Exactly. Go ahead, Bishop. Go ahead, I'm listening.
But the reason they didn't is because if they tell you where the gun was located, they would have to tell you that he was unarmed when they killed him.
10 feet away? What'd you say, 10 feet away?
At least 10 feet away from where the car is. So they don't want to tell you this portion of it. They want you to keep in your mind. Remember, watch the Louisiana State Police video. He's going to tell you this is what you are to see. That is mentally setting you up, psychologically setting you up to see what she's saying.
Yeah.
So she'll say, this is what you're going to see. But she never tell you where the gun ended up, because if she told you where the gun ended up, she would have to circle the gun on the right at the door of the car, which would then say he was 10, 15 feet away, whatever. He was unarmed, and they killed an unarmed man.
Hey, they pulled the same thing in the Alonzo Bagley case. Remember I'm telling people, they're coaching you on what they want you to do. Because when she said, she paused the video, say, now you're going to hear a delay. The officer camera stopped rolling for 1 second. When it came back on, instantly, she said, now, hit the device, power down, power back up in 1 second. But there's a 7-second delay in the sound and the audio. This how they been beating us every time. Go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, think about it. Now, once I got involved with it, like I said, initially it was to get Joseph justice. But once I got involved and started looking at the history and the pattern that's going on in the city of Shreveport, and I said this a few weeks ago. I said, at this rate, there'll be at least 10 police shootings. We're already 5.
I'm not laughing because it's funny, but I said the same thing when who was the first one that got killed before Alonzo Bagley. I said, if y'all let him get away with this one, it's gonna be another one.
Right.
And if now then Alonzo Bagley, I said, if y'all let him get away with this one, it's gonna be not even a couple of weeks later. And then how many more we done had? 5 thus far this year. Go ahead, Bishop.
5 shootings this year. No other police department is shooting people at this rate. No other department. So that's a danger that the entire city ought to be concerned with. That's something that really disappoints me about the politicians in the city. No one see it. Rob, in Bossier City, a guy came into the gas. He came shooting at police, and then they may have.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was shot, but they arrested him and took him to jail.
Yeah. After killing, what did he say? He killed 2 people.
Killed 2 people. Shot a police officer, but they didn't kill him. Took him to jail. So that tells me that you can take somebody to jail.
If you wanted to. If you wanted to.
He was definitely a threat to them, and he knew that he would kill, but they didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Now,
they won't kill him with that time. But let me ask you this question here, Bishop. I mean, I hate to keep interrupting. I know, well, I got at least another 15, 20 minutes if you got that, because I see a lot of people coming in and out. And we got to put it like this. We got to at least get all the information out there. And a lot of times I noticed when it first happened, you was on the forefront, but now the media is trying to bury it. Now that the facts have come out and everybody see through that, excuse my language, Bishop, bullshit, we see anybody that's thinking, Bishop, can see the propaganda, the lies. You see what I'm saying? So, you got people that say this and that, and again, not trying to bring nobody else into the shit. Hold on a second. There was something particular I wanted to ask you, and it slipped my mind because these kittens move. That kitten was just scratching the heck out of me. Hold on, let me read some of these comments real quick. Tyree, my nephew, Tyree, what's up, kid folk? Tyree say discretion. Janine Williams say, has the family seen the gun in question? Had they ever showed y'all the gun, Bishop?
We hadn't seen the gun.
Okay. Sharon ought to say, and they beat the murder of this baby. Basically, your story is enthralling. Okay. Hell, I go over the yellow line all the time. They said, Janine said they had their mind made when they stopped him. They knew who he was and the rest of his history. Dirty cops. What did you say to that?
Let me react to that one. That is exactly right. Here's what, when you watch the video from the officer patrol car, dash cam video, you never hear him call for backup. When he get to the car door and start talking to Joseph, he never called for backup. But guess what shows up? Backup showed up automatically. Why did backup show up? Because before he turned on his lights to activate the camera, he had already called him and said, "Hey, I got the car. I got this. This is Joseph. This is whoever."
This is a fact that you know for a fact. You heard the original police call?
I didn't hear the call. No, what I'm saying is you never hear him call for backup. So the only reason backup is going to show up is if he called them. So he had to do it off camera because he didn't do it on camera.
So before he made the stop, he had to have already called. So he knew who he was dealing with.
Once he triggered those lights to make the stop, the dash cam is going to automatically come on. Everything is triggered automatically. So then if you heard him, if he was asking for backup, it would have came on after the lights did, but you never heard him call for backup. So that tells me he had to do it prior to the stop. Mm-hmm. Now, so they knew who he was. Now, I haven't went as deep as some people. Some people say they heard female say, "Peanut, get out the car." I didn't.
Go ahead.
That's something that I paid attention to. But my suspicion, again, this is hypothetical. My suspicion is they knew who it was when they stopped him.
I had that feeling too.
About his car.
I had that feeling too. We'll read a couple of more comments. That's why I be telling people, man, whether to the people that disagree, don't just be sitting in the background watching this, through the shadows, because you know how people watch through the shadows. And, they sit back and hear what we're saying. Now's the time for those who disagree with anything that the bishop and I talk about, because all I can do is talk about my speculation. You talking from the facts of the case. But the people are enthralled. Go ahead.
Rob, let me say. The people that are, I'll say your naysayers, they're not saying, you never hear any of them say anything about the actual evidence or video. You hear a whole bunch of rumors of who he was supposed to be, what he had supposed to been done. One guy said, "You're gonna see him shoot at the police." We never seen that. Then he back and says, "Oh, when that video come out, you're gonna see him with a gun in his hand, and they had to shoot him." Well, we never seen that.
Yeah.
So they are making up stuff, and they making up stuff and calling it evidence. If the only evidence they have is the videos that we've all seen, then point me to the video and tell me where I'm wrong.
Well, let me read a couple of comments, because we got. Again, I like you all's comments. Again, for you all that maybe disagree with my view or the pastor's view, please call in. Just keep your comments respectful. But you're welcome to say anything. Challenge me, the bishop, anything, because this is the real news behind the news. You got, but hold on. Janine Gillett said, Janine say, trying to talk about the car, that fake ass shit. You remember when he was talking to him about the car? Ayatari say, "What's good? Bossier police apprehended a live shooter, took him into custody while a Shreveport man trying to get rid of a gun and gets gets gunned down." Charles Hutton say they already had the plates. Yatari again say, check the history between Peanut and the laws involved. Sharon ought to say, Cookie, I pray for justice. Let me get off here. I can't stop crying. I'll say, man, and this is a touchy subject, man, but the whole thing, like Yatari say, man, and the way it is, it's a sad subject. But we seeing people in Shreveport, Lacey, not standing for this. And again, going back, to Alonzo Bagley, we knew one thing for sure. Before he even had an interaction with the police that night, they had beat the shit out of that man about a year and a half before, bro. Messed that man up, bro. Excuse my language. Y'all know this is real new behind. Excuse me, Bishop. Fuck that man up. So quite naturally, he got a fear phobia. He did what he did. But even in that case, going back to the video, they bamboozle us with that fast talk shit. But they don't realize that with this social media, they can't stop us from bringing the real news behind the news. Because notice, since the videos came out, the Channel 12, Channel 6, Channel 3, they don't really want to interview too much with the family, because y'all are getting facts that you are able to tell the people. How important is it that we hold on a second. That's family life, y'all. That's family life. That threw me off there for a second. Anyway, let's go get on, man. All right, one more main question I really got for you. It's just that I wrote this one down for sure. They say that Joseph was a killer. And you think he had anything to do with what that? Because you got a lot of people saying this and this and that. I'm not gonna repeat the shit. Everybody that follow Facebook know, but
right. know, I've got inboxes and hey, about it.
Your phone breaking up. Your phone breaking up. Try it again. Go ahead.
Am I still breaking up?
No, you good now.
Okay. I'm gonna give it to him. I ain't gonna defend him. Let's say he is a killer. Even though he's never been charged, he's never been arrested. I don't even know that he ever been questioned about killing anybody. But see, this is the way the system works, Rob. First thing you have to do is, when you have a situation like this, is you got to bring up the person's past, because you got to make him.
Yeah, the boogeyman.
You got to make him dirty enough that the public will accept him.
He's the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that been stealing your socks out the dryer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
yeah, stuff like that. Go ahead.
And watch this. Cookie said to the chief of police, she said, "Y'all bringing up his past. The past has nothing to do with what happened that night." The chief of police said, "Well, no, ma'am, we didn't do it. We don't receive information like that. I don't even know what his past is. That from a news outlet." Well, right, he's right. They're not going to release that information themselves. They're going to get their people to do it. And you got people, brother. You got people that look just like you. You got people that look just like you that has this platform that will get out there and say whatever the police want them to say, because remember, they're looking for a power position to pay.
Yeah.
If they get a power position to pay, and some of these guys, they only want you to like their videos, watch their videos, watch them on their live. So they say anything to get your attention, because if you get enough of the like, enough views, then Facebook will pay you.
Yeah. That's why I be having the problems with what I do, because I mean, think about it, Lacey. I'm gonna be real. Let's just keep this real. I've been doing this thing, and again, going back to me and your relationship, throughout high school or whatever, we've always known each other. But when I started this, you used to stay on my ass, bruh. Every time you seen me going somewhere far left or far right, you was always there to check me. Am I lying? Over these last 9 years?
No, because I mean, you call it the real news behind the news. If you're gonna be somebody that people gonna listen to, you have to give them something that's worth listening. You know what I'm saying? You have to make sure that you're accurate, right? I mean, there has to be some professionalism with it. So yeah, anytime I see you get off course, and one of the things that I did, and I talk about this all the time because I see it happening now with community activists. You had a spat with another activist. I ain't gonna say their name, but I got in both of y'all inbox and told y'all that wasn't proper, because y'all are leaders. If you're leaders, they can't see that.
That's why I don't do that shit now, Bishop. That's why because that's why I say you stayed on me. I love you for that. But go ahead.
And a lot of the activists now, even those comments that I read on your thing earlier, they thriving off of that division. But is that division? Is that the that hurt us? Nobody. The protesting is not effective. They just wasting time. Well, let me tell you how effective this protest has been. We went down to the city hall. We wanted a meeting with the police chief and the mayor. My goal was to shut down the city hall to the point where they couldn't do business. But of course, I couldn't get enough people in there.
Yeah.
So that didn't work. The mayor, I know firsthand that the mayor and the police chief said there's only about 50 of them in the building. Just let them stay there. They'll go away.
Blow off steam. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So then what I did was I started talking about the propositions and voting no for the propositions. Well, this really upset the leaders of the city. So they started calling the mayor, hey, we can't vote no. They can't vote no against those propositions. That's $8 million that we're going to lose. We got to have that money. So we need to stop this. After that, I got a visit from the assistant chief of police while at the city hall. The chief of police is going to talk to you. We went there on a Monday. We had a meeting with the chief. I'm sorry. We went there on a Thursday, a Wednesday. We had a meeting with the chief of police on that. The chief of police and the mayor on that Thursday. 4 days after the killing. And 4 days after the killing, neither one of them out to the they be working on it. And I brought that up in that meeting. Why haven't you reached out to this family? It's been 4 days. Okay, so we talk about effectiveness. To the city council meeting, we demand the release of the videos. They tell me in the James says, Pastor Houston, you're asking for something you cannot do. If you want the videos released, you need to contact the police and get them to release those videos because that's out of our hands. We can't do anything about that.
Let me jump in there real quick, Bishop. I'm going to read a few comments, but I want to jump in there. Do you think the city council, the Freeport Police Department, and other entities are quickly throwing this into the hands of the Louisiana State Police to absolve themselves of any liability or some of this stuff that's going on?
Right. Well, there's a couple reasons why they. One, I do believe they should have a third-party investigate officer-involved shooting. Mm-hmm. However, I don't believe it should be the Louisiana State Police. 2 years. They're being investigated by the Department of Justice for the way they investigate cases. So that's like...
Wait a minute, say that again. They're being investigated by the way they investigate cases, and we expecting them to investigate 5 murders, or 5 killings in the city of Freeport by the police?
And Bossier. They are investigating Bossier. So,
that's crazy.
That in itself is a problem. But if
that's a conflict of interest. Really, should none of their cases stand up in court because you got a conflict of interest. Exactly. You've been investigated, but go ahead.
But it's safe to use the Louisiana State Police because the Louisiana State Police will keep their nose out of the Freeport Police business. You get the FBI or you get the Justice Department to look at these cases, somebody that should be helping, they'll look at more than just that case. And Shreveport don't want their dirt. Think about it. Anthony Childs was shot 7 times in the back. What was that name?
They say the shot that killed Anthony Childs in the shootout, he got shot in the back, but he shot himself in the chest. That's what they told us.
Right.
But it was labeled a suicide. Remember, Ben Raymond got into a shootout, the former police chief who just stepped down, got into a shootout with a dude and a shootout with the police. Nigga, life and death is on the line. You engage in this police and gun battle, you turn the gun and shoot yourself in the head. Convenient excuse. Right. Go ahead.
Well, the guy that had stole a truck and I guess he shot at somebody, he was going up through they chased him, this high-speed chase, and then they get up Greenwood Road in Juella. They shoot the vehicle 170 times.
Oh yeah. Oh, I watched that. That was right up the street from my family house, right there. And notice what they did in that case. They chased him, corralled him into a specific point. Now, the question nobody asked, you didn't hear no gunshots to that blue car, that blue unmarked car, pulled up on this side because they had the street blocked off, and he fired the first shot, and all the rest of the police shot. That boy never fired, probably never got a shot off. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah. Omar, hey, what's up, Omar? Omar say, looking at the police instead of white supremacy. Hold on, white supremacy. Who let the police off the hook? All over the planet, you see light skin on top. All right. Black City Power. Now I'm just reading some of the comments, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, the police get off the hook because the city, Shreveport is the only place. There's no city, and I believe this. There is no other city where police will have shot 5 people and the city not be upset about it.
And guess what? If a nigga gets shot up here in Ohio tomorrow, them niggas in Shreveport will be ready to burn stuff down. I always been saying that, bitch. Oh my God! But anyway, that's a real touching point for me, man.
I've heard it many times, but that's so we say, and I said to one of the ladies that commented on you earlier that said, well, ain't nobody said nothing about black on black crime. I said this. We are porch people. If it's not on my porch, it don't matter to me. I'll be a porch person. I got off my porch again after it got on my porch, and it mattered. So that's why I'm back. But now I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm no longer just looking at Joseph and justice for Joseph. I'm looking for justice for Joseph. I'm looking for the Shreveport Police Department to completely revamp how it operates. You have a policy and procedures manual. You need to follow that. I think the problem is deeper than the Shreveport Police. The problem is elected officials. We gotta make sure that the people that we put in office are people that's gonna. I don't think black people want somebody that favor black people. Well, we want somebody that's gonna be just to all people. Mm-hmm. So we need a district attorney that's gonna be just to all people, not just some people. So we need to start looking at how we are choosing these elected officials. That's very important. Who we're looking to make sure that justice is being served, and that's what's important for everybody. So we're looking at the bigger scheme of things. We're looking at who can be the next district attorney, who should be in the city council, who should be the mayor of the city.
But most importantly, to me, Lacey, ain't none of this shit gonna change till people start asking, what we gonna do about that sheriff? I mean, because a lot of these cases, brother, just be real. You turn this shit over to a cattle parish system that's already corrupt. You expecting the coroner to rule in your favor, but you know the citizens' favor. So right. Nobody is talking about the sheriff. What is the sheriff department role in a situation like what you and your family going through?
Brother, I was told not to mention the sheriff. Literally. That's how afraid people of the sheriff. It's 2023. I remember when I was a little boy, there was a sheriff. His name was Dorta.
Yeah.
And all I heard about was Dorta.
My papa used to talk about him all the time. I never met him, and I'm glad I didn't, because he'd have killed me. I tried to break his jaw. Anyway, go ahead.
They were afraid of Dorta. Controlled the whole parish with fear. Well, we got the same thing happening now. This is 2023. How can one person strike that fear in people? I have no clue.
How could he stay in office for 20 years? First and foremost, shouldn't we have a term limit on that most important offices of office?
There really should be term. You know what? Not only should the sheriff have a term limit, but the city council, once you serve your term, which is 2 terms, you term limit out, they need to ban that after you wait 4 years or whatever it is, you can run again.
Yeah.
Once you do your 8 years, move on, do something different.
Yeah.
So those are some limits that need to be added. But I heard that former police chief Whitehorn is running for sheriff. And I support that. And I'm supporting Chief Whitehorn running for sheriff. I'm supporting that. And the reason Prater has been the sheriff as long as he has is because we just do not vote in big enough numbers to make changes. We have the votes, we just don't use them. It's time.
Because I'm gonna be real, and you know me, I'm gonna call it way I see it. He got these bootlickers, these gatekeepers, who are designed to steal. I mean, come on, man. Is it legal, Lacey, for the fucking sheriff to be able to politic in your church? I thought there was a separation of that, church and state. But I mean, he controls everything and everybody. And I'm gonna say this. This is me. This is no Bishop Lacey. This is the real news behind the news. Part of the reason is because your government is so fucking corrupt that he got them in so many compromising situations that they can't do nothing to help you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. That's why all of your politicians are silent on all of these shootings. They're silent on all these shootings because they don't want their dirt to come out.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. That means that the people of the people of the city people need to understand that this is much bigger than Joseph getting killed in the middle of the street. This is a system that is just dangerous and bad. I just seen an article that said Shreveport police. The city is the worst place to raise a family. Who want that tag over them?
Ratchet City. Niggas in Ratchet City love that shit though.
But
let me read it.
Nobody is doing. We're accepting it as it is. People get mad at you when you say something bad about Shreveport, or not even when you say something bad about Shreveport, but when you mention what's happening in Shreveport, they get upset.
But Lacey, a lot of people get mad at me because I quote a lot. You know me, I'm an encyclopedia. Numbers don't lie unless the people that's giving it to you are liars.
Right.
But when you look at the fact, Shreveport, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge don't even make up 2.5 million people.
Right.
But per capita in this fucking country, Shreveport is, New Orleans is number 4. Shreveport is number 8. Baton Rouge is number 9. For all this violence, this bull crap. Again, let's go back, and we're gonna get ready to end this. Let's go back to the black on black thing, because that is an issue that we have to talk about. Because I'm a firm believer that the reason why these police are in our neighborhood the way they are, scary ass police who are on antidepressant. First of all, let me say this. This is not speculation. We know that the Shreveport Police Department is one of the most corrupt. You had 20 of them motherfuckers to get fired or brought up on charges all in the last 2 years. You had police get convicted for selling dope. You had police get brought up on federal charges. You got 2 now brought up on federal charges for beating the shit out of somebody. One of them is the one who killed Anthony Child. Everybody's saying the police are scared, the police are scared. Can you blame the police for being scared when you put them in neighborhoods, I'm gonna just be real, that look like some shit out of Afghanistan? What's your opinion on that? Speak on that.
Well, first of all, I don't think the police are scared of the people. The people still be scared of the street for police. But you mentioned black on black crime, and I somebody say, well, y'all talked about black on black crime. Well, there's a difference between black on black crime and a police killing a citizen. And somebody asked me, well, why y'all protesting? Y'all don't protest for black on black crime. Well, yesterday, twice there was a brother that killed his brother. And I know a brother did it because they arrested the brother.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Trust me, I watched it. Go ahead.
So with black on black crime, in most cases, the person that did the crime arrested and charged and faced process. When a police kills somebody, it's different. This policy, a policy, a use of force policy that Shreveport Police Department have, what they've done is they've taken this policy and they've tried to figure out through the videos how they can justify what they did with this policy. That's not the way they take. If I shoot you, they're not gonna look at how they can justify me shooting you. they're going to look at the criminality of me shooting you. So the only way you get justice when a police kills somebody is if you put the police department in a position that they cannot lie anymore and they have to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you protest, and that's why you get upset when it's a police killing. It's not because somebody got killed. It's not because somebody got killed. It's because the justice that follow is different. Now, another thing that they said, once they bury him, they'll once they bury him. Well, we still here. We're not going anywhere. It's not when they bury him. It's not when they get tired. Because we're not getting tired. They don't have the dynamics that they had with Marquis' husband. That this is being led by some outside force. I'm a family member, so I'm not for sale. I'm not seeking power or position. When I come to Shreveport and protest, I get back on the highway and I come back home 4.5 hours away. I have no intentions of, I'm not looking for any power position or pay out of the city of Shreveport. So there's nothing they can give me but the truth. That's all I'm asking for. Tell the truth about what happened. Let people know. Well, let's say he got out the car with a gun and he dropped it. Let people know that he was unarmed when they shot him.
Mm-hmm.
If they shot him in the door of the car when they say he had a gun, that would have been justifiable. But they shot him 10 feet, at least 10 feet away from the car, at least 10 feet away from what they're calling a gun. If he did not have a gun on him, he was not a threat. He didn't make a threatening move because they was on top of him.
Yeah.
They didn't get off of him because he was moving. They got off of him simply because the police said, get back, get back, get back. So this was murder. Just call it what it is. And when they ready to do that, then changed the focus from Joseph Taylor to the police department, complete makeover. Because it needs to be, I'm gonna mention this name. Alvin Oliver said, well, something about the police calling police chiefs to get fired, whatever. Well, I'm not. Is that the police have a job to do? The police told me, he said, you've analyzed more than I have. I say, sir, that's a problem. If I was the police chief, I would have analyzed this video upside down and back and forth. He said, well, I'm not doing that because the Louisiana State Police is doing an investigation. Well, you got 3 employees that's involved.
This is your jurisdiction.
Right,
yeah.
right. So you should know this video like the back of your hands. Not just me, but you should. So it's disappointing to say that, well, I hadn't looked at the video because the Louisiana State Police is investigating. That's not good leadership. I'm sorry. That's just not good leadership. So,
that's horrible. Really, let's say it like that.
I told him when he said that, I say, sir, that's disappointing. That's a disappointing statement.
But you know what that statement also could mean? Well, we got away with this shit so much, we really don't give a fuck. I ain't got to look at it.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to cuss, Bishop, but just keep it real.
The problem now is I haven't went away. I'm calling them on everything that they're trying to do. That's their problem. The problem is because in advance, it's hard for it's been a month and there hadn't been a resolution. So everything that we've done has been effective. They try to find a way that they can get over it. They can cover this thing up. The problem the problem for the city of Shreveport is every time they cover this up, there's another happening.
Hey, but I'm gonna say this, read this last comment because you hit it right on time. Just as Chad hustling, and I gotta get ready to get out, man. I got a family thing to do, get ready for work. But Chad just say that's what they if they basically what he said, if they investigate this case, hold on, I can't read it because the screen is too bright. It's saying that's what it was. They investigate this, they're going to have to open up a lot of them other cases when it's done. Oh, okay, they're going to have to open up a lot of cases because something, you know, that's something they don't want. Jermaine Anderson say, I guess I say, fire Steve Prater or whatever. Prater must go. Yeah, Steve Prater must go. But go ahead. I'll give you the last word, Bishop.
Yeah. Listen. Let's tell the truth. It's time to tell the truth in this court. It's time that we allow in this police department to do what it's doing. The police, they do not police that way. So we need to come together and stand up, not just Joseph, but for itself. We'll be back in court tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we're going to the district attorney's office. We'll be out front of the district attorney's office, and I will be taking this procedure on deadly force, and I want to give it to Jay Stewart. But, you know, it's time that he get this case. It's time that he do his due diligence and investigate, throw out whatever the Louisiana State Police have done, and do his own investigation. And what he'll find is these procedures was not followed. If these procedures was not followed, then everything they did, with everybody talking about facts, if these procedures were not followed, then the facts are they committed a crime that night, and they should be prosecuted for it.
Under the same code of law that we would be. But they sitting at home. Ain't they still getting paid while they going through this?
They're on paid administrative leave. They're getting paid to paid vacation for killing a black person. That's the way they do.
Yeah. Well, hey, Bishop, I'm so glad. I'll be there the first week of July. I'll be there for a couple of days. I'll get with you and let you know what days, man. Maybe if y'all going to do something during that weekend, then I'm there. But hey, you know I got your back, man. Again, y'all, I want to thank Bishop Lacey Houston, a good friend of mine. Almost really, even though he's younger than me, I call him little brother. He's really a mentor. Somebody who's not just out here trying to get no glory, nothing, who really looking for justice. Hey, I love you, man. I thank you for being here, man, making this possible. We're going to do everything I can from up here to help y'all down there. But no matter where we at, we all got to do something. But the city of Shreveport better fucking wake up. If this ain't woke y'all up, they said a boy shot himself in the head just the other day.
Right.
Police shot. How many they killed? They killed 4. They done shot 5.
Right.
And it's just going into June.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, Bishop, go ahead.
To shoot 10 people this year.
Well, hey, Bishop, I love you, man. Let me get up and take care of the family. You take care of your family, man. I'll give you a call in the morning. We'll talk over. I thought, I got to do some edit and throw this show on YouTube also. And we're going to do what we got to do, man, because God put people in each other's life at a specific time for a specific reason. Again, 8-9 years ago when I started it, he put you in my life to tell me, hey, look, shut up, do this, don't do that, say this, and I listen. And now I'm here today to have nothing else. Help you not only just be a voice, but I'm going to get out there and fight for it. I ain't no coward. I'm going to get out there and we going to fight this, bro. And we going to win because I don't lose because God is our general. I love you, bro. Let me get up and get these kittens and these children. All right, you be blessed now.
Bye-bye.
All right.